absolutely fly. Total dominance. Semenya looks majestic.
My word, is there any end to her talent? But once again, she has delivered on the big stage.
There's been a lot written about her, a lot said about her, and now she is the Olympic champion. That's what the record books will say.
Welcome to this special episode of Supersport Unplugged. This Women's Month, we are getting plugged into women who've had the audacity to make their space in sport, speak louder, dream bigger, and continue to win. And when it comes to someone who has the audacity, none other than the greatest of all time, right here in Mzansi, it is Caster Semenya who joins us today on Supersport Unplugged. Caster, thank you so much. Such an honor to have you here, unplugged, literally from the studio, and we're at the birthplace of Caster Semenya, Germiston Stadium. How does it feel to be out here on the track tonight as we bask in the light of the Olympics?
No, thank you for having me. Truly blessed. Yeah, I'm always thankful for life, but being in this stadium, it reminds me of the young Cobra, back then, in 2009, when I used to dream, to make it to the heights, make it to the World Championships, Olympics and all those times. But yeah, it's overwhelming, mixed emotions. Yeah, just to smell, the track, touch it again. It's one of those, special moments, I must say. Yeah.
So, Caster, the whole world knows exactly who you are. Gold medalist at the Olympics, two-time gold medalist, world champion. But Kimang Mokhadi Caster Waha Semenya?
Very, very, very simple, human being. Down to earth, but can be crazier sometimes.
Yeah, sure.
An individual who prioritizes herself. I love myself more than anything. I put myself before anything, but before I act, I think, I think about others. I'm caring, I'm laughing, and look, I'll just say I'm just simple, human being. I always say, authenticity is best, outfit that you can rock. That's what you see me. What you see is what you get. And I'm natural, and I always, go back to the ex-minister Mbalula when he says, no plastic but original. So I'm that kind of a person. Spade is a spade. But I love, honesty. I'm a very honest person, but I'm that kind of a person you don't want to mess up with.
You have the audacity to be authentic, and I think that's what characterizes you. But before you even dreamed of being on the track, I know that you've always been a super athlete. At some point in time, Nodwa, hunting rabbits, then it's Springboks, Hebare Sports, football, you are there. When did you decide that the track is where you want to put all your energy and this is where your heart lies?
I think as a young athlete, look, I've lived my entire life, playing football, and then I played, softball as well.
Oh, nice.
But then, it's about, being realistic. It's about, reality. It's about, when you touch something, when it's tangible, you start understanding that, look, this is where I belong, and this is what makes sense. At the age of, 13, 14, that's when I realized that, what, track, simply defines me. It's something that, makes me happy. It's something that resonates, with my personality, my motto, it's something that I think if I do it, I'll reach to those, heights, and when I decided to switch to the track, when I won the Commonwealth Youth Games, 2008, I knew, this is where I belong. And I'm destined, for greatness. So let me just follow it and make sure that I do it to the fullest. And I never looked back, even when I was asked, what are you chasing? You know, I'm chasing my dreams. And when you win gold and then you beat, you know, the great, you know, Kenyans, you know, those guys that are coming from the East, you know what you're capable of. And for me, it was about prioritizing what makes sense to me, not to listen to anyone who doubt me.
You know, you're speaking about not listening to anyone, but I think most young women who want to be in your space right now will be watching this and listening to you. When Mokhadi was still young, which athlete was she looking up to? Which athlete did you feel like, I want to be in that space and I want to achieve exactly what they've achieved?
Of course, Lourdes, the great, you know, Mozambican, you know, Express, Maria Mutola. Why? Because, look, the strength, her physique, how she raced, I imagined myself, you know, doing the kind. Yeah. And if you look at my career, you'll see I've equaled, you know, her world title tallies, you know, 3 times world champion, but then I made it better into, you know, the Olympics. Yeah. And her times, you know, how she used to attack, you know, the races, you know, I always saw me. And I remember I listened, you know, to the commentary in 2009 where they say, you know, I remind them, you know, Maria was like, that's what I want, you know, but Maria is one of those, you know, athletes that, you know, when I saw myself, I was like, look, this is how I want to run, this is how I want to do things, and I want to do it better. And I also got, you know, opportunity to be close to her, you know, to be, you know, very close in terms of a coach and athlete relationship, but then we became like sisters, you know. She became like my mother and then a real mentor. I think she's the one who unleashed, you know, that fire where I've realized, look, whatever I do every day, I must do it like it's for the last time. And if it wasn't for her, I don't think I could have been here today. So, yeah.
So also going back to Mokhadi, Wako Limpopo, Kogae, do you think your family at some point in time when you were growing up thought that, I know, Caster is going to be the Caster we see today? Is it something when your parents look at you,
yeah, to be honest, yes. They always believed in the work that I do, but not on the track and field. They always thought of Desiree Ellis, you know, Poshia Mudises, you know, Veronica Peros, and, you know, Mom Pushes, and all those girls. Because I played very good football, you know, in the rural. I played, you know, very good ball, you know, football with the guys, you know, because I played with men most of the time because of women's, you know, football was not well promoted, was not well supported. So I was that good, you know, footballer that they always thought she will make to the national team. And when I traded my spikes, you know, my soccer boots to the, you know, to the spikes, they were like, what is she doing? And I'm like, guys, I know what I'm doing. So, by the way, I've qualified, you know, for the World Juniors. I'm going to the Poland. And I'm like, what? And then I came back tomorrow. And funny part, when I qualified for Berlin, when I went there, they did not know I was there. I'm just a simple, you know, kid that is enjoying her life. I never wanted to bother them. So they just saw the headlines that my little brother just saw me on the screen. He knew me as Mokhadi. So when they saw Caster Semenya, the world champion, but like, what's going on? And that's how you knew.
Did you register under a different name so that they don't see?
No. Remember, my first name is Mokhadi. You know, in Limpopo, in the village where I grew up, you know, they all call me Mokhadi. But Caster is more of a, you know, just the English name where we use it in a classroom. So all my family members and the villagers, they know me as Mokhadi. So when they see me on the screen, Mokhadi, Caster Semenya, but Mokhadi Mutola. So like, it's a little bit confusing. And my mom is there, all my family are there, but I did not tell them I was going to, you know, to the World Championships. So they, caught them by surprise, which is good. It was good for me, you know, because I never wanted to be under pressure, you know, I never wanted to bother them. But it was good because, you know, the surname, you know, was there, up there, and then they'll be like, oh, okay. You know, I'm there, I'm in the mix, I'm doing quite well for myself. So that's what I wanted to do. So, but yeah, it's one of those things that people don't know about me. I'm more secretive about myself.
You're audacious. You have the audacity.
I don't really like revealing my whereabouts, where I'm going. I just want you to just see me excel, that's all.
Surprise, I'm here.
Yes, I don't like surprises, but I like
You
surprising
like
others.
people. And speaking about also family, family support is very integral and important. You've got a structure at home, and she's a very good partner. You've been a running partner with her. How important is that kind of support as well with your family and your kids?
I think it's all about understanding the relations. The most important thing about relationship is about understanding one another, understanding what I like, what she likes. Fortunately, it's more of that love of love and basketball, and then we turn it into love and athletics. Then we are more of I understand her, she understands me, but she understands my priorities. I understand her priorities. But as well as we are parents now, it's more for making our kids understand the life that we're living, to understand that, we move a lot, so they should understand. But I think what we teach is to teach, love, respect, and support. And we support each other in a way that we don't really question, the work that we do, because you find me on the track, I found you on the track. So when I'm traveling, I understand. When you're traveling, I understand. Remember, we are both coaches, we co-coach, and the kids understand that we are coaching, but the time that we give, our kids it's precious. We make sure that our kids never, feel that we are absent, for them. Yeah. We make sure that everything we do is in the best, interest of our kids. We make sure that we present as much as we can. We make sure that we go out with them, to the parks and all those things. But also, we want them to live their life to the fullest. We don't want to be those parents where we're gonna choose, which sports they should do.
Really?
Oh, I want them, try swimming. I want them try, gymnastics. I want them try, tennis. I'm happy if they can pursue something than running. I'll be the happiest, mom in the world. So
DJing?
But it don't matter as long as they're happy, as long as they're fulfilled, within. Because I think we always say, charity begins at home. Yeah. It's about making sure that your kids understand themselves, as human, love themselves, and then love the work that they're doing. And we those parents, and then we are more structured, very strict in terms of disciplining the kids, but we discipline them in a good way for them to understand the wrongs, and the rights, because I don't want them to treat me in a way that I'll never, as a person, you'll never like someone to mistreat you. So when they do wrong, I tell them, look, you will not like it if someone treats you like that. So you should, remorse yourself, make sure that everything that you alter, you must be able to know when you are wrong. And when you are in the wrong, apologize and move on. And then try to be a good person as much as you can. So, but never ever let anyone take advantage of you. So those are the things that we teach as parents. But lastly, I think you want to make sure that you become a better person, or a better parent than what your parents have done for you. Yeah. Make sure that, you open ways, give them opportunities as much as you can, and make sure that they're going to live, a good life.
Sounds like you're raising two very good daughters with strong heads on their shoulders.
Of course. I can say that.
Give another Caster. So, Caster, right now, obviously, we're in the midst of the most wonderful Olympics ever. We've been watching really great records being broken. And when it comes to the prospect of the South Africans on the track, I think the last Olympics, we talked about how disappointing it was. We didn't come back with so many medals. Does 2024 seem like, especially with all the preparation that's been going in, all the runs they've been making, a good year for South African athletes on the track? Yeah,
I would say it's a good year. Why? First, if you look at the squad, we have young, upcoming athletes. We've made sure that we give them opportunities, to come in. Look at, 4x1 relay. When you look at, Walaza, you look at, Benjamin. You look at, the young, Bradley. So it's one of those things that we bring in, the young blood, so they can experience, so they can feel it, how to be in the international level. But if the coaches, they've done well, they've done, well in terms of establishing, the work from the foundation, to the transition into the competition, but also making them understand that when you are in the Olympics, the main goal is to taking one step at a time, making sure that, we go through, heats before you can even get to the final. You cannot run a final before you run a heat. So I think those are the things that, for me, it's more interesting, looking into the 4x4. Yeah. We have a great team, but the mindset, is very important. The surroundings are very important. I think if we are positive enough as a team, we support one another, guidance, and, we mentor them well, it will be great. And then when you move into, Akani Simpinis, and then you look at the Wade van Neger, we stand a chance. What I can say is that those guys, they just need to go there, believe in themselves, know what they want. They've done the work. Agani is in a good shape, and Wade is as well is coming all right. And then look at Benjamin's, running, those great times.
One of my favorites.
So for me, what's interesting is that how they're going to attack, this championship. Are they going to allow the nerves play with them? Are they going to allow the competitors, play with their minds?
Yeah.
So go out there, be bold, go out there, own the track. And then for me, it will be great. Moving into the middle distance as well, you see Prudence, so she's doing quite well. She has ran, under 2 minutes, multiple times. So she just needs to go out there, enjoy herself, believe in herself. But 800 meters is a tactical race. Yeah. She needs to get her, her calculations right. She's under a great coach, teammates, Tite is doing well as well. Yeah. Ryan Patlele is also doing well. I think we will do good. Look at the marathon. We have Gerda Steins. Sure. Yvette van Zeel, and then we look at men's, marathon as well. Stephen Mugoka and Elroy Haaland. Look, we get a great team. Yeah. It's just about the mindset, not allowing the village, allowing your competitors play with your mind. So we have a great team, and you must just go out there, deliver.
I like the fact that you mentioned the whole team. We'll get back to that team because there's one name missing from that team. Yeah. And that name is sitting with me here on the track.
Oh.
Caster, I mean, you are, it's such a pleasure to have you at your World of Champions Super Sport as an analyst for the Olympics. But obviously we know what's been happening. Yeah. Watching the Olympics from the outside, take us into that kind of emotion that you go through. Yeah. You're looking at the strong team, and it would have been nice to have a Caster in their team as well. Yeah. But this is our reality now.
I think we to be realistic when it comes to that. Look, I played my part, I've done many things for South Africa, but for me not being there, I'll say it's God's will. He had plans for me. I've been, in the field of, play for almost a decade. I've done well. I've, won medals. But emotionally, I'll say, look, I'm in the ease mode. I've moved on with life. So I'm in a good space. I'm happy, I have family. I'm coaching. And it's good to, to analyze it, from the distance, just once in a lifetime to say, look, I've been there before. I've done that. But what difference will it make if I could have been in a team? Yeah, it could have been a good vibe. It could have been good, especially in terms of the spirit, encouraging the guys. But I'll say what's meant to be will be. And for me being here, it has been part of, of my path. God has created the opportunity to say, look, I gave you opportunity to live. I gave you those challenges that, I know you'll overcome them. Why not me? You understand? Yeah. Those are the questions that I always, ask myself. So if not me, who? You understand? But for me, being here today is a, just a testimony, of God to say, look, we live, we move on with life, and you let go of the crutches. Yes, I've been stopped, from running, at the early stage at my, my peak. But I'll say, look, it was meant to be for me to be here today, to sit with you here, just to share my wisdom, how I think, how I see things, especially in terms of, coachings, point of view, and in terms of just being a mentor, to this young, upcoming, generation, to say, look, when one door is closed, find a way to open other doors. Yeah, God has opened the door for me to be here, for the world to see that, look, being stopped from running really is nothing. Look, yeah. I'm still happy. I'm still running, Saturday I'm doing my 10K. Look, you may stop me running, competitively, but you can't stop me doing what I love. You cannot stop me from running. So I'm just doing it for my people to say, look, guys, when it can be dark, find the light. Find to switch on those torches, Make sure that the torch is always, le protect, man. Le cover just live life. Yeah, man. But it doesn't really affect me. It has grown me. I'm more matured. Physically, emotionally. I'm just a pure soul. I love what I do, but you can't stop me, from living my life. So it's beautiful.
Let's go back down memory lane, because, I was showing my daughter the other day, yes. YouTube videos. Caster. Mom, and educating young ones is so wonderful. But if you had to go back to this specific track here at Germiston, what memories, what do you remember the most?
Yeah. The only thing that I remember is when I ran my first 2 minutes on this track. I remember the great, Agnes Samaria, the Namibian. She was here, so I wish I ran against them. I don't know why she pulled out of the race, but it's one of those athletes that I was like, she's been torturing, our athletes. She's been doing quite well, but I don't know for what reason she did not run that day. And I remember when I get to before the bell, about 40 to 50 meters. Before the bell, I was like, I'm taking it. Whoever wants to beat me must work hard. And, that was the day I knew, no, this is my throne. I'm going to own it as long as I can. Whoever who's going to come, behind me must work twice as I work, So, yeah, 2009 is one of those memories that I'll say, look, I can never forget, and I'll cherish it for the rest of my life, because it was the beginning of the Caster Semenya's, journey, and I never took it lightly. I knew by running that 3 minutes, it's my ticket, to the SA records,
world, yeah.
To the world, to the, Diamond Leagues, to African champs, all those All-African games. I knew that that's me. And, I always, rewind and then look at the race. I'm like, yeah, what was in my mind there?
Now I gotta go back and look at that one too. Coming through your whole career, it's so glittered and so beautiful, and different people have their different moments.
Yeah.
For Mokgadi, when you're sitting at home and just looking at all that you have achieved, which one meant the most for you?
I'll say 2016.
Yeah.
That was controversial, too much talks. And not a lot of people know, I had problems before, 4 weeks before, Rio, I had a blocked ankle. After Monaco, it was a mess, I couldn't walk, and I couldn't train. It was tough.
Yeah.
But then, being able to manage, the pressure, being able to manage that stress, being able to make it work for that short period of time, and get my medical stuff together and make sure that, you know, there's no, I'll try, I'll do it.
You have
you know,
to.
it's one of those things that telling the coaches, if I have to break this leg, so be it. It's a do or die for me, because I knew my fate. I knew my lifespan anyway on the track. It's questionable. So I'll say Rio meant a lot to me. You know, that's the best championship I can say I've ever ran, you know, as an athlete, because, you know, you go out there, you know, unbeaten, you know, the whole season, and then making sure that you go still break, you know, the national record, and still, you know, go against all odds. You know, people are talking, and then I'm able to suck it in, and then, you know what, they say, look, only God make me, only God can break me. You know, you make me, you can't break me. Who are you? You understand? Those are the things that I think as individuals we need to start understanding, that God cannot put you in a sport that you know, he knows you cannot excel or you cannot get out of. So I'll say 2016 it's one of those moments, and even most of the guys, they'll tell you 2016.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, Caster, you mentioned something about against all odds, and just listening to this whole conversation, and I personally wondered what was going through your mind as well. I know you're strong, but there's always something that could break a person. Going through those battles, going through court, having to sit out of your favorite thing, the love that you have for the track, and still trying to be composed in that, because I think that's what I saw. A very composed Caster who was in her bubble. It was like you're on the track. That's the battle you were going through. But how was that for you, also going through that and having to transcend into a new phase of Caster?
I think as an individual, it's one of those great moments when you're sitting and you'll be like, yeah, I made it. I make people change rules, you know. I make people go crazy, you know. I make people talk a lot. But people don't understand that when they put you on the spotlight, you matter. That's a mistake that an individual, you know, can make and say, look, I want to destroy someone. I want to stop someone from doing something. You're forgetting that you're building that person. For me, the growth has been marvelous. And being there, listening to people, discussing your body, discussing, they're forgetting that you're just a human, just like any other person, you know. And it's beyond your control. There are certain things that as an individual, you can't control them, you know. Naturally, genetically, look, I can't control my body, I can't control my voice, I can't control my muscles, I can't control that I'm born different, you understand? I'm a woman, I'm strong, I'm masculine, I have a deep voice. Those are the things that I cannot control. And people forgetting that you can't control nature. And sitting there, you know, they're discussing, and then I'm like, oh, at least I'm learning about myself, I'm learning about my genitals, I'm learning about my body internally. But what's good about it is that they forget that it also educates. And for a young, you know, African young woman, you know, fighting, you know, all these giants, these organizations, they don't understand my goal is not necessarily winning the case to go run. It's about exposing the injustice, exposing, you know, this discriminatory, you know, ruling, exposing, you know, the organizations that are self-centered, you understand? Educating our people how to fight them for themselves. And for me, I advocate for that. I make sure that I voice out so this young upcoming generation understand that if something doesn't make you happy, you fight for it. It does not matter even if it blocks me, you know, from doing what I love. But if inside I feel fulfilled to fight these battles, no, I'm gonna fight it. And I'm be looking at them, you know, making fun. I'll be like, you're making fun, but it don't make any difference to me, because at the end of the day, it shows you who truly you are. And you have to understand that as a young African woman, I'm coming from a country that, or a continent that have been messed up, you know, by the Western, you understand? And when the very same people attack me,
They're
attack my
attacking
own
us.
people, it does not show remorse. It does not show that, look, you are apologizing or you have mend your ways and say, look, we have done wrong to you and we're trying by all means to change. And they still act the same way. So for me, it's about just fighting for that, making sure that young, African, athletes and Asian athletes are well protected, and then making sure that, these organizations, they follow through, safeguarding as much as they say. And I hear them, talking about safeguarding as if they follow it. And they break the rules, they do that. And I'll be like, are they okay in their heads? Do they know that they don't put athletes first? They don't protect athletes before even doing any policy making. For me, look, it's more educational. Me, I'm learning each and every day. And for me, it's about also venturing into a leadership. Not particularly to say I want a position or anything, about just showing, young athletes to say, look, you can voice out, you can fight for yourself, you can stand, your ground and say, hey, I don't like this, I don't like that. But if I have to fight, for young African women and Asian, women that are affected by such policies, such organization coming, attacking us, making fool of ourselves, making you feel like your body, does not even, belong into this world. People shouldn't, embrace themselves, shouldn't, celebrate themselves, and then people will start, being mocking you. So for me, it was one of those things that to show this, kind of leadership is so, look, stuff you guys, I don't care. I can say whatever you like, but that does not diminish me. It does not stop me being the person I am, the person I love. What I see, it's beautiful, to me. It does not matter what you say about me. At the end of the day is that when you're sitting there at home, sleeping at those, ceilings, looking up, you're thinking about this Caster. This Caster annoys me. I love it. I love it because you made me, the great person I am today. I have learned, and then I understand myself in a better way. So people need to understand that you should fight for yourself. You shouldn't care about what other people say about you. You try to be a good person as much as you can. But there are times where you say enough is enough, and I'll go for you. And I always tell people, you try to give me stress, I give you a heart attack. And that's what I will do for the rest of my life. As long as I live, I will make sure that they don't rest. I will make them continue on, changing the policies up until they make it right. So it's one of those things that why we fight, these court cases and make sure that we sit there. But they don't understand that they're building us as young, girls, and they build us to start understanding what is right, and, to make sure that we stand for women, and also make sure that we make all other women around the world to understand that we need to stand for each other. We need to fight for one another, make sure that we protect one another. I cannot stand here because I want to be loved. No. Rather hate me for what is good. What is good. You understand? So I can make sure that I protect these young girls. So I'm good where I am. I'll keep, fighting you guys. I'll keep you fighting you. You don't know I'm coming from Limpopo to the rurals. Where I'm coming from, you gotta do anything to survive. That's what we are doing. And we continue on messing you up, guys. So that's a statement that I want people to understand and to know that, look, me, I'm a fighter, I'm a soldier, so I'll keep fighting.
Caster, I love the fact that you have the audacity, because a lot of us would sit back at that time as women and as an African woman just wonder, why are they doing this? And for you to have the audacity to continue with the fight and not give up, to continue with the fight, I think that's the key point. And I love the fact that you're saying that it's not just about Mokhadi.
Yeah, of course.
It's about everybody.
Yeah, look, there are a lot of young girls that are affected by this. Many people may not know. But, what's disappointing is that we as Africans, you see, now I'm talking particularly in terms of African sport. What is it that we as African leaders, we're doing to protect our own? We continue on supporting such, nonsense because we want to be loved. We want to be, upgraded. We want to be, to be in the mix. But instead of looking down and say, look, particularly women, African women, their bodies, for
Are
decades have been, displayed. Look at the history, that a woman shouldn't look like this. A woman should look like that. You understand? That should be something that we need to teach, young men, particularly Africans, to say women needs to be respected. As we entering into, Women's Month, I think those are the things that we as women, we need to also educate, young men to say, look, women need to be respected, women need to be protected. Yes, women's bodies are different, so do men.
Yes.
They are tall men, they are masculine men, the physique, short, all those kind of things. But you can never hear anyone alter anything about the men to say, no, because you're like this, you don't belong. But comes a woman, for an example, look at the Serena Williams, stories and Venus. So they were great. They've been called names. They've been, look, when a woman is strong, it's the same as a man. We should be celebrated instead of being questioned if we women enough and all those things. And it's God's will for you to be. And God has created all of us to be in this world, to be celebrated. So we should celebrate one another. So we should teach our African leaders to start understanding that as much as we talk about now safeguarding being introduced, set by an example. Our constitution is even against all these rulings. But then our African leaders, I can tell you, terribly doing what they're doing, supporting the very same thing. Yeah, I understand they are affiliated into the organizations, but I once asked one question. So if Africans or Asians, you as Europeans or Americans, we feel like we don't belong together, so why are we saying sports for all?
It's sports for some.
No, of course. Sports should fit, suits, other people. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not different. I'm not saying, but that's not a problem.
You said for all.
What makes me angry is that everywhere we go, you'll hear them starting with the speech. The late Nelson Mandela said, sports unite people.
Yeah.
I'm like, how so? If you come and then start discriminating, you're contradicting yourself. And now that's when we as people as well need to start understanding that, look, we should not be fooled, by leaders. We should be realistic. We should be also, fighting for our own people, fighting for our superstars to say, look, if you say, like FIFA, say, no discrimination, racism and discrimination. And then it comes discrimination. You get what I'm saying? So those are the things that, as people, we need not to be fooled by people who have had us. Yeah. We have a history. We're coming from slavery. We're coming from being, misused. We're coming from torture. And when people start acting like that, it takes us back.
So talking about taking you back, the moment when they came to you and said, well, this is what's going to happen and you're going to have to take these altering drugs. Yeah. What was going through your mind at that time? Because you're also at a space where you want to compete. Yeah. There's one half of the world saying that just do it so you compete. But then you know that you're also not sure exactly what's happening. Going through your mind as an African also at that time.
When I was, 18 years of age, nothing mattered the most than me being on the track. Yeah. And when I sat with my team, I remember when that was introduced, they said, no, you should do a surgery. I said, stop the surgery, I'm not gonna do that. And then I had my own team, you know, around me to say, look, this could be the option. I say, I can do anything for me to be on the track.
Yeah.
Then I don't care about my health. I didn't care about anything. I cared about the young Caster. Remember, I just won the world title. The only thing that I wanted to do was to run. And then what I did is like, come up with something, guys. Fighting is not what I want at the moment. I'm not ready for it. And my legal team were like, I said, hey guys, make a plan. And obviously I had my own doctors, and then we sat down and we suggested this and that. Then come this, you know, medication. So look, I'll take it. But the plan was for me to take it for certain times and then vamos. But me stubborn as hell. I'm staying. I'm gonna stay, but not understanding that, look, I'm jeopardizing my health. I am destroying myself within, you know, because you have to understand that when the minute you sacrifice yourself, you can never, you know, undo anything.
True.
You can never walk out of that path. So for me, the advice that I can give to the young African women that particularly decided that they want to take medication to compete, you're never going to make it.
Yeah.
Their goal is to destroy you. Their goal is to poison you to make sure that you're weak. You never love sports. That's their goal. So for me, it's all about you know, desperation and then making sure that I get back to the track. But when I grow up, then I realize, you know what, no, that's not the kind of a life I want to live, because it isolates me from my family.
Yeah.
It makes me neutral. It makes me, you know, never like anything. You know, it dims everything. You know, I always tell people, you dig a hole that you can never fill up. If you dig a borehole, that hole remains that forever. So that means it's dark.
Yeah.
So that means it's darkness. You can never find the light. Even if you put the torch, it does not reach
the bottom because you've
the
done
bottom.
Too deep.
You understand? You went too deep to destroy yourself within. You understand? And you sold yourself. You know, you've destroyed yourself. You failed yourself. So those are the things that for me, I never want any young women or young men to go through. Me, I lived that life. My friend, I've lived the life. I know the bad side of it. I know the side effects, all those things. And you'd be like sitting like this, like just, you know, a neutral person. No one can never see you if you're happy or you're not happy. You understand?
Alters the mood.
Yes, because if you're moody, you don't want to be around people. So those are the things that people need to understand, that being, you know, forced to take drugs to slow you down, it don't make sense. So you should learn from me, never ever do that. I'll repeat it, never ever. it's one of those, never ever, ever again.
You know, Caster, I love the fact that after all that has gone on in your life, so many highs and a couple of lows, which you don't consider to be lows, you still have the audacity to see the, you know, the comic side of it, to talk about it so freely. And I love the fact that you're also talking about it so positively in the space that it's needed to be talked about in a positive way, in an encouraging way. So we spoke about the women, right? I'm very, very excited because there's a lot of young women. We spoke about Prudence, Glenn Roos, Super Chat, and then you've also got Tumi. Oh my gosh, I'm crazy about Tumi Ramokgopa.
Yes.
You've got our viewer. We've got so many young ladies on the track, and I'm just mentioning a few. That are really also trying to make these strides. How do you see women on the track in South Africa and what they can do as we finish off our chat?
I think it's one part that is missing in terms of women development.
Yeah.
Our programs are more, they're not really, you know, that effective in a way that we can say, look, we set up a program, particularly for young men this other side, for young women this other side, to make sure that particularly in the provinces that we're coming from. But I think it comes with the finances.
Yeah.
We have great talent, but I think if we can invest like before, you have to understand, back then in 2009, we used to have a program for junior athletes.
Yes.
You know, you will have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. I think if our administrators, if they come up with a plan like that to make sure that athletes are well supported, you know, athletes get what they need, you know, it may be shoes, spikes, you know, a little bit of cash when they need it. I think it will build the sports. It will motivate, you know, these young girls to say, look, yeah, we are well, you know, taken off, you know, we are, you know, they're investing, you know, in our talent. They're making sure that, you know, when I'm in need of the physios, I get them. When I'm in need of supplementation, if maybe so, especially particularly for the long and, you know, long distance running and the middle distance. So I think it's one of those things that I think we are missing. Yes, we have our operational, you know, OPEX, you know, excellent programs. But you have to understand that that program focuses more on top athletes. Yeah. It does not focus on young upcoming athletes. Does this more like nobody. You understand? Like when I came into the sports, you know, they targeted me, say, now she's capable. Yeah. And they put me in the program. They didn't put me in the program because they see a medal, they see talent. They know that if they can nourish that, it can be what they want. And then, of course, after 2-3 years, I became what they built. But if we're going to come and then support only the ready-mades, the ready-mades come in and then you get out. Yeah. Like I was in, I'm out. Wade is in, soon to be out. Yeah. Agani is in, soon to be out. You understand? So we need to find a way on to run these excellent programs. Make sure that we invest in the right talent. We spot the kids, put them in the program, put them under watch. Make sure that they get necessary care, they get the support. You know, if you have those workshops, call them in. Yeah. You know, educate them, you know, how to invest in themselves, how to invest, you know, particularly even, you know, financial literacies. Those are the things that builds an athlete. And make sure that they understand the business that they're running. But the minute we don't have those programs anymore, even if down in the local, you know, clubs, you know, there are, you know, development programs that, you know, we are running, you know, as, you know, coaches. So those are the hub where talent, you know, comes from. So that's where we, you know, identify these athletes. So you look at, you know, the athletes that you mentioned, all of them, they're all coming from there. So I urge, you know, SASCOG, I urge ASA, I urge all provincial, you know, organizations to say, look, focus on development programs to make sure that, you know, we get, that's where we get them. We get them from the dust, you know, the rural areas. But if we don't invest in this, you know, young athletes, we're going to lose them. That's why you'll see we don't last, you know, in the world of sports. You see me this year, next year I'm out, you know, because there's no full support. There's no funds, there's no financial support, there's no emotional support. I come in, I win medals. I remember I experienced such where I get an injury. I'm out, klar, pop, out.
No one's calling.
No, they can't support the people who are sitting. You know, those are the things that we need to, as well, when we appoint people. We appoint people who are on top, understand the sports, understand development programs, understand that athletes, when they're broken, we fix. As much as we take a car to the service, athletes need operate like that. They need service. You know, they need to be served. You know, they need to be protected. And when athletes, we see that they're misbehaving, as leaders, we take them down and we talk to them. You know, so those are the things that
and not say it, not to say,
yeah, because now you go no. When you see that I'm in the wrong, even if you don't come direct, Send someone that you know they will understand.
Yes.
You know, you understand them to say, look, can you talk to this young peer? Say, look, can at least try to train it like that. I think those are the things that we're missing as a, you know, particularly in Africa. We focus more on big things, but then the foundation, we forget that before we can even build a house,
it needs a foundation.
you know, we need architecture to come and then check on the landscaping to make sure that if I lay a foundation here, it will be a structured house.
Like I
And
say,
you lay the foundation, then there are walls. So we want to focus on the roof. How can you put a roof without the walls, without the foundation? So those are the things that also when we put, you know, people in that leadership, we put people who are sensible, people who are, you know, understanding, people who will be, you know, who will sympathize
Who
and
sympathize
have
with the
empathy, you know,
athletes.
with
You're right,
athletes.
yeah.
Not just to come and say, out, I don't want you, I don't want that. Those are the things that I think we as, you know, people who have experienced, when we come in, we just try to advise as much as we can. But the development program is very important. That's where we get the athletes. It does not matter where, soccer, you know, netball, basketball, all those things. That's what we need.
But I suppose that's why they have the likes of you and Khotso in leadership, I suppose.
We're trying our best.
Okay, all right. Going back to the Olympics, we have to finish. I could chat to you for 3 hours, you know that, Caster, but I don't think everybody else would appreciate
Because I'm a crazy one. I'm a crazy person. I never stop talking.
No,
because
I
I
know.
love talking.
I
But
know.
that's a healing process, you know that.
Yeah.
Talking heals.
Heals,
If
it
people
does.
don't understand.
How's our bui? It kills you
Yes.
inside like poison.
Of course.
Litopa and abscess.
Yes. Le thupa lo santse le khathenyana le really clean a little
Really
bit.
clean. Hey, Mukhadi, we'll talk the whole day. I wanted to actually ask you, other than Olympics, what are you watching on DStv? Because now right now, I'm busy with Queen Mojaj. I'm busy with Tuta, Munna Selobedu. Banthema.
Ngiyasilebelela Kilobedu.
Eh.
Vele Queen Mjaji ke mo lebelela. Cause ke tswa Limpopo. Like Mopedi, bona ke ba Lobedu, you know. Bo Khilokela, you know, bo Khethano, le nna ke a ba lebelela. Wa bona. So but yeah, I would say DStv is more for that, and then besides that, look, I'm a sports fan. I love sports. I watch rugby, you know, to water polo. I watch everything. Look, you have to understand, sports is in my blood. So Formula One, motor, you know, bike, but the UFC is one of the. I love.
You love UFC?
No, I love UFC.
Oh,
I'm
that's
excited, you know,
nice.
with the upcoming, you know, fight, you know, Dergas and
Yes.
Adesanya. So it's one of look, Adesanya is my favorite, but my boys.
I was about to say, have you met
I love
Duplessis?
Adesanya. I haven't met, you know, Duplessis,
Yeah.
but if you can pull that together, yeah,
Really?
yeah, I'll be amazed because he is facing someone who's smart. His punches are dangerous. You know, if he overcame, you know, the great, you know, Pereira. So you have to understand that that guy is dangerous. So, but I'm excited, you know, for the fight. I'm not missing that one. I'm gonna make sure that I'm watching, but I go with. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, you know, Adesanya, I love you, but my man, I go with my own, you know, Duplessis. So, but I'm a sports love. I watch every golf. I watch.
You've just made me think I need to go on more sport watching dates with you. We're watching football together when the PSL season starts. Oh, that's all. Cause
no, I watch.
Nice.
Look, me, look.
Okay. Let me put it this way. Okay. We're going to go for our interview now. Who is winning the local football league in South Africa this season?
It's a tricky one, but look, I'm a Kosi fan. I really don't care how good other clubs are. Look, me, I'm loyal. Loses, you know, bad performances, what? But look, you gotta be positive about, you know, your team. So, Kosi for life. So, I'm a Kosi for life. It don't matter.
Internationally, in the English Premier League?
English Premier League, look, I'm at Man United.
Oh, I'm leaving, bye.
Yeah, bye-bye, you can go. I'm Man United. Look, I am not going to switch clubs because Man City is doing well, you know. Arsenal is doing well, Chelsea is doing well. No. Look, I'm a Manchester United fan.
Caster, you're not my friend anymore. I don't like you.
Look, you don't have to like what I like. You don't have to like what I like. You like what you like, I like what I like. It's cool. And then I go to the French, you know, team, you know. I love, you know, PSG. And then I'm done. It's done. No other teams, no other leagues.
Wow. Caster, you disappointed me, you know, especially with the Manchester United. I've got a theory. All Chiefs fans are Man United fans. Argue with your grandmother.
Look, I got to Old Trafford. You know, I remember when I was in the UK, they made me go do interview at Man City, you know. I'm like, I asked these guys from BBC, I'm like, you guys, you bring me to my enemy.
And
I'm like, I walk in there, I look at the, you know, Man City. I'm like, guys, why did you take me to Old Trafford? You could have took me to Manchester. But, you know, it is what it is. And I was there. I didn't understand why they take me
They take you to the wrong side.
To the wrong side. While I passed through Old Trafford. I'm like, when I saw the signs of Man City, I'm like, you're trying me, guys. So, but, you know, it is what it is, you know. You can't love what I love, you know. It's always like that.
Ah, man, Khadi, it's always such a pleasure having a chat with you. You've made me laugh, which is really great. And I love the fact that I really believe that you'd have the audacity to change from being an Olympian to a coach to one day maybe being a comedian.
No, not comedy. Comedy we do it randomly. No, it's nice when we do it like this. We do it randomly. I remember when I went to the Chillers, you know, like.
Yeah, go Chillers.
You understand? No, that's not my field. Yes, comedy we can do it off, you know, cameras and all those
But you're
things.
doing it on camera right now.
I don't know if I'm funny or not. So you
okay.
guys tell me.
Here's a quick question: is kota still your favorite meal?
Kota. No, kota, I do kotas. I run a kota business. Look, I'm the best kota maker. You know, come to Limpopo during the tournaments.
Yeah.
And then look for my spot. You'll find that crispy and fresh kota.
I mean, the contradictory, like an athlete, really kota. But that's why I love you.
No, but
you contradict
remember,
yourself all the time.
Kota ke kota.
Eh.
Running is running. People, let's not mistaken the hard work I put in on the field. And then you expect to record the greatness in me. No. I wake up every day, I bend the quarter. I eat quarter today. In 2-3 hours, that quarter is out, man. I burn a lot of calories a day. Look, I cover about 100 and something kilometers a week. So why will a quarter be a threat to the mighty Caster? No. No. Quarter I will so ke quarter, ke roba ya tswa out.
Oh man, so if you are in Limpopo, check out Caster's kota business. But other than that, it has been absolutely fantastic because Mokhari always has the audacity to entertain.
Of course, I'm an entertainer. I've entertained them. And I must say, are you entertained? That's what I always ask, if you know the gladiators.
Listen, South Africa's Marcus Aurelius. This has been Super Sport Unplugged, and we have the audacity.